so I wanted to do just a real quick tutorial on how to use this Tiki website to create your digital timeline. So here we are with the assignment, and at this point you should have this table entirely filled out with the information, and then you were supposed to number these in chronological order, with the oldest event being listed first. And so that is going to be on here, even though it's at the first. That's at the top of the list. It is the oldest event, the first bacteria 3.4 billion years ago. The information, the first evidence of life are fossilized cells without a nucleus. Those would be prokaryotes. And then Archean Earth is mostly water with very little oxygen in the atmosphere. So we're going to go down to this website called Tiki. The first thing you're going to have to do is to create an account. It's a pretty basic, quick sign up. So I'm going to click on this and run through that with you really fast. So go here. And then right here, you're going to click on this free sign up, and it's going to ask you to create a username, an email, and then a password. And then you'll need to click I agree to the terms and conditions and then sign up. Simple as that. All right, so once you get the account created, you are going to log in. So let's go back to that. Log in and type in my information. Log in, and this window is going to come up, and this looks a little bit different than what you would see because I've already created a timeline. Now the free version of this website will only allow you to create one timeline, but you can go back to it and you can make edits on it as many times as you want. So when you first log in, you will scroll down to where it says create new timeline, and right here it's telling me that I've reached my limit. I can't make a new one. However, I can show you the information that's here. So you're going to have to come up with a title, maybe put the name of you and your partner on here, or just history of Earth, something like that. And then we have a start date. Earth is, whoops, we're not going to do that. Earth is 4.6 billion years old. So we need to enter that date. And you'll notice on here that it says for dates that go way back. So right here for dates before 9999 BC or after 99999 AD, simply enter the year. For example, 5 with 9 zeros after it BC would be 5 billion years. So we need to write ours as 4.6 billion years, which is really 4,600,000,000 years. So we have to type that whole number out. We can't just do 4.6 billion BC. So we're going to go 4,600,000,000, and then million is 6 more zeros. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have a total of 8 zeros. And then we also have to write BC. The end date is just going to be today's date. And so if you look at the top on here, it's asking you to put in the day and then the month and then the year. So today is April 14th, so we're going to type in 14-04 2017. Okay, down here you can type in just a little bit of information about your timeline, and then about. If you'd like, you can add a picture, and so you have some things that you can select, and then once you've filled all of those in, you're just going to go down here, create new timeline. I'm not clicking on that because it won't let me, or it won't allow me to make another timeline. I've already reached my limit. So I'm going to go back up here to, here is mine, history of Earth, and I'm just going to edit it. And so you probably are going to be working on this over several days, and so when you log in, you are just going to go to the timeline that you've started on, and you're going to open it up to edit. and then this will open up. And so here's my title. I'm not sure where it went, the history of Earth. And then if we go back to the directions on the worksheet, it says, so we created a title and the start date, today's date as your end date. If you'd like to add a picture to your title page, you may. And then when you're finished, select Create New Timeline. So when that new window opens, the first thing you're going to do is create a new story. And then it also says you've got some additional information here. Your first story is your oldest event in your table. Enter the name of the event for the title. So the first event, the one that we'll do as an example, and you could just copy and paste because you've got this all filled in. So I'm going to copy this, Command C. I'm going to go back to my history of Earth, and I'm going to click up here, Create New Story. So right here, my first story or my first slide is going to be first bacteria. Okay, now the start date, if you look back on this table, 3.4 billion years ago. So again, remember, you can't just write 3.4, you have to write out the whole number. So we need to do 3.4 billion would be 3,400,000,000. So we need to add 6 more zeros to this. BC, and we're going to keep the end date the same as the start date. Okay, so our start date is 3,400,000,000 years ago. Our end date is the same time. And then we go back and we have to add this information. So let me go back really quickly. Here's our information. Okay, our story information. So our story information are these other two columns of information that you created. So the first thing, there's first evidence of life. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to just copy that into my story. Okay, and then I'm going to copy the next one over. And I'm going to add that too. So here's my information for that first event. Okay, so once you get that information in, you need to save it. So we're going to click on Save, and now you'll see there's some other stuff that's come up. We want to add some pictures, and on here you need to have, for each of your entries, you need to have at least one picture. So to add pictures, we need to go to Media. I'm going to click on that, and then Add New Media. So let's go back to the directions for just a minute to see what it says. So we're going to scroll back down. Okay, to add pictures, click on Media and then Add New Media. And then you need to do some sort of a search to find the pictures that you would like to add. So when you find the picture you like or want to use, right-click on View Image, and when the new window appears or opens, copy the image and paste this into the source box. So let's see what that really means. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to just type in first bacteria. Search and go to images, and then I've got all of these things. So I'm just going to click on this one. Now this pops up. We want to go to View Image. So it comes up. Here's the source of that image. So we're going to copy that image, and we'll go back to our timeline, and we're going to put it right here where it says the source. So we're going to copy that there. If you want to say, put a caption on it, first bacteria, and save. And there's our picture. Now I want to add another picture to this too, because I have two things that I had listed for the information. So the other thing in this box, the Archean Earth is mostly water with very little oxygen in the atmosphere. So let's see if we can't just find, I'm going to type in Archean Earth. Okay, images, And all of these different images show up. Now, if you recall, though, it says that it was mostly water. So if we look at this, you can see some land masses here, but the majority of it was water, or even this one right here. So I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to go to View Image, and then copy this link, Command C, go back to my History of Earth, and I need to add new media. So I'm going to add that right here. Paste in that URL and then save. Okay, so now if I look over here, I can click on the event. Let me close some of this out here so we can see this. So here's my first event, 3.4 billion BC. First evidence of life are fossilized cells without a nucleus. Archean Earth is mostly water with very little oxygen in the atmosphere. So here's one picture, but if I click over here to more, I can look at the other picture that I chose to add to that event. Okay, so now we've got the first event done. And what you're going to do then is you are going to create a new story for each one of these events. So your next event, I'm not going to say, is the cyanobacteria. You are still going to have to figure out, this whole table should be completed before you start working on the timeline. So whatever your second event is, you're going to go to your History of Earth. Each time, for each event, you need to create a new story. You're going to put the title, the time, and then the information that you collected from your table. Once you've done that, then you can go back and add your pictures. So once you've added this information, excuse me, you need to save it, and then you can add your pictures. Make sure that you save after each of those pictures, and then you can move on to your next event. I don't expect that you would be able to complete this in one class period, but you can save it, and then when you log in the next time, you will just be able to click on your timeline, edit, and continue on.